Alright, plumbing repairs installation. Planning your work. Most plumbing jobs involve the drudgery is skilled in knowing what equipment you need to understand the basic plumbing principles you need to perform numerous repairs and improvements without calling on professional help. Seeing big jobs such as installing a new sink of a toilet bowl, adapting a new water supply line, replacement length of a damaged pipe can often be accomplished without use of specialized tools. Doing that require extensive skill. Diagrams followed the pages will guide you for the making of basic repairs and understanding requirements of bigger jobs. Always check local building ordinance to make sure that the certain work you intended to do will not violate any regulation. Before beginning a project, carefully read the instruction accompanying the fixture for the appliance, assemble the tools of the materials needed for your job. For jobs you need to feel competent to handle, call professional plumber. If you do the work around your house, you should already have many of the tools necessary for the average plumbing job: tape measure, screwdriver, pliers, hammer, saw, saw, electrical drill, chisels. Specialized plumbing tools may have been purchased or rented. Major mail order houses will often lend to rent or set plumbing tools. If so, purchases materials job from them. Wrench sizes and uses. Wrench sizes are designated according to overall size, bound with a handle over the top of the upper jaw. A 10-inch wrench should be used for the pipes up to 1 inch in diameter, and an 18-inch wrench up for 2 inches of pipe diameter. Really large pipe, 2.5 inches or more in diameter, requires 24-inch wrench. Never extend the turning point power over the wrench. Inserting a length of pipe over the handle will gain extra leverage. You will only break the wrench and damage the pipe. Never use pipe wrench, Stilson wrench on plated or polished pipe that will mar the surface. It's a mistake to tighten the jaws of a pipe wrench too snug. The wrench gets fit tighter as you turn it and will tend to crush the pipe. When using a pipe wrench, always fit and turning force directed to the open end. Tighten the wrench on the pipe. Never turn the wrench sideways. When using tube wrench, holding fitting pipe position, left hand wrench front, loosen joint right front, over to tighten it. Alright, the right fitting for the purpose was some kind of pipes will serve bottom. Both water supply drain fittings will not. Drains will fittings with smooth inner contours. Nothing will hamper the movement of saws through them into the drainway system. Regular fittings can only be used in a vent system when no liquids are flow. Cast iron fittings are made with a drain only. Galvanized steel, copper sweat types, solvent welded plastic fittings come in regular and drainage types. Black iron fittings based and used for gas lines only. Flare type copper fittings, bronze, and slip-on plastic pipe fittings just for water supply. Shows cast iron pipes, a bend sleeve, and SP toil cast iron pipes. Quarter inch, 1/8 of an inch bend, long sweep, Y branch, combination Y branch, half-inch bend, stationary branch, T branch, stationary T branch with side inlet, neo coupling sleeve, shield clamp assembly, galvanized steel, T fitting 90 at 45-90 elbows, reducing union reducer coupling, hose adapter, bushing plug cap, flange up, copper pipes, and cast iron pipe. Working with cast iron pipe. Cast iron pipe is the most popular pipe for the soil with the waste stacks and then available the size of service weight with a well with an extra heavy grade with a service and standard weight. Pipe can be cut with a hacksaw to make 1/16 inch depth cut around with a pipe. Rest of the pipe 2x4 and tap and overhang over the hammer and close to the cut until the section breaks off. You can preferably cut the pipe all the way through with a hacksaw. Extra heavy cast iron pipe cuts, a cold chisel hammer, and apply a chisel all the way around the required cut, striking the chisel until the pipe breaks off. If you plan carefully, very few cuts were needed as this pipe comes in 5-foot lengths. Cast iron soil pipe has bell-shaped hub at one end of the ridge around the other called the spigot, which is going to fill into the hubs in the same size shape because of the fit loose joint. Maybe cause the spaces fish first with oakum string fiber, which is wrapped around an inner pipe packed down into an inch for the top of the hub. The molten lid is poured in the hub over the oakum. It is important the rule working with a hub type pipe to install so the hub faces up, never down. This is the solid matter won't become lodged at the joint. Installation is simpler with no hub pipes and fittings installed with the caulk joints, neoprene gaskets used to permit slight misalignment of pipes and fittings without leaking. Also, there is no waste pipes with hubless pipe. A cutoff usable, acceptable no hub joint can be taken apart with the repairs additions just by loosening the clamp screws to take the hub pipe apart. The lead must be melted with a torch. The pipe can cut on the bolt shape of the fittings after the hub type system has been opened up. No hub fittings and pipes compatible with it. Provide local plumbing code approval. If your code permits, no hub can be used below the grade. Hubless pipes in 2, 3, 4-inch diameters and 5 and 10-foot lengths. There is no required direction and flow through the pipe as there is a hub type pipe. The fittings must be arranged, however, so the flow flows from smooth inner curves. Hey, Mama. All right.
They're ready. They're warm.
Hot Pockets?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Work with brass and steel pipe to expedite a small type of the brass project. Ordering pipes of the dealer already cover the length and threaded standard pipe and nipples. Short lengths of the pipe threaded with both ends over the stock items available. The lengths for the 1 to 2 inches chart with the diagram below show the calculated length needed for the complete connection. Because of the run of the red pipe needs to be started with the point where the disassembly fittings known as a union must be installed wherever the pipe you cut the pipe to add with the branch and replace the pipe. Although thorough, thoughtful plumber also installs unions whenever the frequent access may be deeply needed, such as water heater, water softener, as start of the outdoor run of pipe. Rigid copper pipe, and we'll cut the tape there. Testing. Alright, rigid copper pipes. Working with copper parts, thoroughly competitive, expensive rigid copper pipe is unusually easy to work with, add to and repair. Involves little or no waste resistant corrosion and scaling. Small size used in water supply, larger size drain waste ventilation system. Sweet solder joints are made the same either case. Copper pipe comes in 10 20-foot lengths and 3 weights. Thin walled type M, medium walled type L, thin walled type K. Code permitting type M is adequate for the housing, plumbing, soldering joints. For line to be buried below ground or that may be subject to mechanical damage, use type K. Outside diameter copper pipe is 1/8 of an inch more than its nominal size. Some suitable home plumbings 3/8, 1/2, 3/4, 1, 1 1/4, 2, and 3 inches. As steel pipe allowances must be made. The distance of pipe slips into the fitting measure. For copper pipe, determine the distance face-to-face fittings, then add twice the depth from the face to the inner shoulder of each fitting. Good way of building copper pipe run is to assemble everything dry, make adjustments, and disassemble. Go through the sweat soldering procedure on long pipe runs. Prepared solder for, and shows a copper pipe soldered here, adapter thread, steel pipe, or 5 joints that is possible at the same time. If the solder joint after one and the same fitting is cool wrapped, the cold joint in damp cloth is healing with a drain waste ventilation pipes may cause extra large tip or propane torch. Soldering joints can be removed by heating and tapping it apart with the solder is melted. The must first drain with a pipe. The drain waste vent pipe is always stored on a slope to a drain. Simply a water supply piping should be sloped back to the drain point so it's empty to prevent freezing in unheated houses. Drain point is usually in a basement laundry tub or loose hose outlet, sometimes out a shut-off valve incorporating drain plug. Once removed the solder joint, copper pipe can be cleaned and resoldered. Working with copper tube. Chief advantage of soft tempered copper tube is flexibility. One of the entire run of pipe can be made with the fittings only in the ends, but bends are to be taken in stride. Because of the long gentle curves there are possible, resistant water flow reduced, and more water delivered at the tap. A flexible copper tube is used in solder type fittings. It's handled, measured, and cut the same as a rigid tube. Flexible copper tubing is sold in 15, 30, and 60-foot lengths. It made the Type L for most uses, Type K for hard surfaces. Excellent for plumbing, remodeling jobs, since it can be snaked behind wall throughout small openings. Flexible tubing does not, however, produce a job as rigid pipe, the straight lines and precise right angles. For this reason, flexible tubing is usually installed where it will not show. Flexible copper tubing may be joined in soldered fittings or with convenient flare and compression fittings. Compression fittings are similar to flare fittings but without flaring, but are sealing or self-sealing advantage of the flare with the compression fittings is in a joint, and any accessible joint can be taken out any of the time and pair open in wrenches. Disadvantage is relatively high cost compared to the solder fittings. Costs need not to be considered. Flare and the compression fittings can be used much more widely in housing plumbing systems for ultimate flexibility in repair and remodeling. Making a flare joint shown in the packet page shown on this page. The flare joints carefully made so they can be sure that they test flare joints under pressure. If the tubing is slightly dented, a flare tubing will bring it back into shape. But always remember to remove the flange nut fitting and sliding over the tube before flaring the tube. Usually 2 wrenches make up the connection, one of to hold the fitting, the other flange nut. If the joint does not leak and cut off the end of the tube, reflare it. Flexible copper tubing can be bent across knee, straightened out, unrolling the coil. Larger the tube diameter, gentler bend must be achieved to avoid kinking. To make sharpened bends in short lengths, fill the tube with sand before handling it and prevent kinks and using spring as shown. Rigid plastic pipe. Working with rigid plastic type. The 3 types of rigid plastic pipe provided with the home plumbing are designated polyvinyl chloride or PVC, ABS or acrylonitrile butadiene, sterling or CPVS chlorinated polyvinyl chloride. Local codes generally forbid the use of behind or within thin walls, though most of them permits use of plastic pipe with long sprinkler systems. All 3 types of piping can be used with a cold water supply, well as drainage system. The chlorinated CBVSC, rated at 100 pounds per square inch at a temperature of 180 degrees, can be used in hot and cold water piping provided with a local building code. Some of the hot water heaters fitted with temperature pressure relief valves with a relief setting as high as 125 pounds per square inch at 210 degrees Fahrenheit. Use a CPVC pipe in such a system necessary to replace the relief valve. The one rated at 100 psi to 108 degrees. The rating appears of the valve. In addition, you need a new pressure relief valve. The CVPVC must be connected to the water heater with a transition fit that will absorb the heat from the tank walls. Since the plastic piping expand with the contracts more than other types of piping, hangers made especially with plastic pipe should be used to permit movement without damaged pipe walls. Install with the pipe hangers every 32 inches on an alternative overhead joist. Joining pipe. All types of plastic pipe can be joined with plastic fittings meeting special solvent, cement, or solvent welded, but before they try to slide the pipe into its fitting. The pipe should slide all the way in the fitting before it touches the shoulder inside of the fitting. Preliminary test is advisable because of the solvent sets it too fast to permit the major repositioning. Do not allow solvent welded temperatures below 40 degrees and solvent discolored, thickened, discard. Solvent of CVP comes in 2 cans. 1 can contains cleaning agent, solvents to ABS and PVC in a single can. Apply solvent to any type. Use only brushes with non-synthetic bristles. Separate one from each of the 2 PVC cans. Wait 3 minutes before attempting to move the solvent welded joints. Do not attempt to pressure test plastic pipe for at least 16 hours after it has been welded. Rigid plastic pipes can be joined in copper tubing, meaning with the flare fittings, warm pipe, and with a torch before flaring. Plastic to steel joints can be made. A special adapter. The adapter with the thread on one end, acceptable steel brass pipe, the other plastic bushing with its cements. Using plastic pipe, copper to plastic adapters are also available. Do not mix different plastics in the same system. ABS pipe or PVC fittings or vice versa. This can cause leaks, but one type may be used for water supply and another for drains. Water working with tubing. Flexible plastic polyethanol tubing. Black comes in 100-foot coils. Outdoor pipe suitable with the wells under sprinkler systems. Water surface entrance line. Polyethanol tubing should never be used, however, for hot water. 3 qualities are available. They are base rated with a tank pressure of 125 pounds per square inch. With the depth of up wells of 200 feet. Medium quality, most commonly used with pressures up to 100 psi. Can be used in wells up to 80 feet deep, not with submersing the third utility ground. Not be used in high pressure nor drinking water. It is suitable, however, the underground sprinkler systems. Polyethanol tubing is lightweight, easy to since few joints are required to insulation because of the length. Tubing will prevent persistent water flowing through it. Tubing can be connected through the threaded steel pipe itself with the polyester fittings and couplings, not tightening plastic adapter threaded fitting more than one turn beyond the hand tight using open end wrench, not a pipe wrench. Stainless steel worn driving clamps are used to secure the tubing. Non-threaded fittings tubes can be loosened, pulled apart, and put back together as often as needed. Hot water poured on the joint will soften the tubing and help it come more readily. Underground lawn sprinkler systems. You can install lawn sprinkler systems in a system simply complex. You need for area when you want to cover the operational conversion you made would like simplest of the various available systems attaching T-fitting outdoor faucet line has a half a dozen pop-up sprinkler heads that will water up to 900 square feet of lawn. More complex systems, once illustrated, even have built-up pumps, pressure feed, water-treated dozens of sprinkler heads, clock-operated program, which turns the separate zones of the system on and off according to the preset plan. Sprinkler systems are more complex and kind of most fitted with the anti-siphon valve to prevent submerged sprinkler heads from feeding contaminant water into the house water supply system. If vacuum should occur in the house plumbing, most of the sprinkler system nowadays use flexible plastic pipe buried in trenches below the lawn. Alright, roughing in, planning with your insulation. Insulation planning houses an addition of converting room and extra bathrooms involved in insulation, water supply, the drain, waste, vent, piping in the walls, floors, and ceiling. The preliminary provisions are called rough plumbing. Water supply generally has 3/4 to 1 inch surface entrance and a 3/4 inch hot and cold main lines to the room, 1/2 inch branch line, sinks to the tubs and showers, washer, laundry, dishwasher, 3/8 of an inch line to the toilets except for the flush valve. Operated toilets, lavatory, drain, waste, vent systems use 4-inch sewer, 3 to 4 inch main drains, vents, servicing toilets and groups and fixtures 3/4 inch, 3 to 4 inches total drains, 2-inch shower drains, 1 and 1/2 inch drain, 6 tubs, laundry tubs, and washer with dishwashers, 1 1/4 inch lavatory drains. Always plan piping layout to take most direct route. Avoid obstacles where possible. The drain waste ventilation piping takes precedence over the water supply piping because of the bulkier and costlier. Smaller water pipe usually can be routed with the drain waste ventilation. Pipes and floors should be parallel to joints. Piping pipe in the attic can easily run across the top of the attic floors. Pipes below the first floor can be run under the first floor joist. Joists between the floors must be notched and have holes cut into them for the pipe running across them. When making an addition to the existing plumbing, you will not have the choice of pipe location that is available in new construction. New pipe runs can be made cutting the existing line using a T and union to make a connection. Venting the new toilets and sinks and tubs can be hooked up to the existing vent pipe by means of revents, page 235. Check your local code for most codes that specify just how the fixture of the being in the main vent. You must be a bit of a carpenter to do plumbing work. It requires considerable cutting through the walls, joints, studs, floors. In addition to the usual hand tools, electric drill capable of drilling a hole saw will not only make a job easier but neater as well. Job hole drill through the floor to pass the pipe makes a neater job of the irregular hole with a keyhole saw. If the pipe has come across the steel I-beam, it will pay you to have a hole cut for the beam with a torch instead of dropping the pipes under the beam. Getting professional help for this under welding is classified in telephone directory. Or notching joists and studs, not joists. According to these rules, not only with the end of the quarter, each joist never notch near the center. Never notch 1/4, just depth of 2/8 of an inch joist, 2-inch notch maximum. Nail a steel brace 2x2 piece of wood across each notch, front and back. Holes can be cut just anywhere along where the lengths for the rules are followed. Center of the holes between the top and the bottom no closer than 2 inches to the edge. Hole diameter should be less than 1/4 of the adjusted depth. Pipe across the notch should be conformed to these rules. Never notch deeper than 2/3 of the depth, 2.5 or 2.5 inches on the 2x4 In a lower half of the stud, do not notch deeper than 1/3 of without reinforcing steel strap wood brace across the notch. Non-bearing wall will exclude most outside walls and center portions. You cannot notch upper half of the stud of its half depth if there's at least 2 unnotched studs left. Of course, to notch any stud, existing wall covering must be removed. The wall later recovered. To notch the joist or stud, solve the both sides and cut out the plug in the sharp chisel. Pipe crossing under the joints can be hung from perforated metal pipe strapping with a cut length with the nail of the joint. Pipes running through the two joists can be supported on a wood brace nailed across the joints. Vertical run of the pump, such as the soil stack, an example of the supported resting bottom fitting of the wood brace is nailed into the position of the horizontal drain venting line. Entering the soil stack will also help them to support it. Installing pipes. The closest bend which connects to the toilet floor flange for the soil stack presents a special problem. Travel the run into the two joists. If a joist must be cut with accommodate, can only be deep if necessary with a nail 2 inch thick with a wood brace for both sides for the notch. Instead of making the deep notch, cut the section of the joist out and install the two headers short board and same thickness depth of the joist. Pipes through the walls need to be ample, contain waste vent. Size of 3 inches steel plastic cast iron will fit in the standard 2x4 frame wall. All threaded pipes must be given sufficient additional clearance to allow the tightening. Drainage waste ventilation assembly is done first by starting the toilet drain, cutting out the suspended closet bin. Sanitation area T doesn't work with a sewer molding drain back to the closest, and be sure to install accessible cleanouts every houseable horizontal drain run. If the drain portion of the soil stacks must be offset to clear the framing, there is 2 1/8 inch bends over the vent, and portion must be offset to bend 1/4 bends. Because of the cramped space involved with the installing a closet bin, many plumbers lead pipe from the connection between the toilet and the drain. Lead pipes permit fitting awkward areas and slight bending of the straightening after the closet bin is in the pipe place. Lead pipe closet bends are often used with the two toilets mounted on the back of the back adjacent bathrooms. The joint between the lead pipes cast iron drain is made process. This is called wiping, using molten lead to make the connection. Build the soil stack up from the toilet out through the roof. Code may require the vent size increased to 6 inches just below the roof with a vent increaser. Install vent flashing below the roofing around the vent. Caulk well with roof cement. Workout from the stack building. Branch waste for vent and revent lines. Build up secondary stack if needed. Bring out fixture drains. Position them according to the dimensions shown on the drawing, page 238. Bring the waste lines out of the wall. Cap them temporarily. These can be cut off with threaded out of layer. Proper fittings installed. When assembling pipe of the water supply systems, extend the existing cold hot water mains. Install the reducing T branches as they go. Install the branch and fixture runs. It is practical to do so. Bring out all water supply pipes through the wall. Otherwise, bring them up through the floor using rough in dimensions, page 235. Fixture run should be brought into point of the entry of into the room. Install the T in which the branch facing into the room. Branch takes a short cap pipe reaching at least an inch into the room for over the top of the T. Uses an 18-inch capped air chamber pipe, same size as the supply line. When installing pipe branches, bear in mind the hot water pipes go to the left, the cold water pipes go to the right. Fixture center line. Remember the install cutoff valves below each sink and lavatory. Secure the bathtub faucet with a 2x4 brace to hold the faucet body in place. Do the same with the shower outlet with a quiet plumbing. Also, all pipes should be supported. Support block is also needed behind the wall. Hung lavatory locating out according to the requirement fixture uses. Both drain, waste, vent, and water supply systems should be tested before decorating the room. Do this in a way that rent a sub set of rubber plugs for the closet bin and sewer line. Install them. Turn on the water. Look for leaks in the water supply line. Look again several hours later. Run water from the garden hose into the main soil stack until full. Wait 20 minutes and look for leaks in the drain waste valve lines. If there are none, you can remove the plugs and close the walls, and confidently your plumbing system is leak free. Removing and installing the toilet. When buying a new toilet, select one of the matches to rough in the old toilet and rough in the distance from the finished wall behind the toilet in center of the floor flange of the bowl is attached with the drawing. Fortunately, most old and new toilets rough ends are 12 inches. First step of the turn off the water supply, flush the toilet, bail out the water from both the tank of the water and the can and the sponge. Remove the old water supply heading leading from the floor to the wall of the tank doesn't contain a shutoff valve, then only part of the coupling pipe is attaching to the new supply part. Remove the tank bowl type pump couplings. If corroded, saw them off. Remove the two screws that are holding the tank to the wall. Support the tanks as if it comes off. Pry off the caps of the bowl holding the bowl and the floor. Unscrew the bowls. Rock the bowl from side to side. Lift and twist from side to side. Place new toilet bowl upside down from the newspaper padding to keep it from being scratched. Clean off old gasket material around the toilet bowl's floor flange. Position a new toilet bowl gasket around the bottom of the outlet horn. Fit with flat surface down bottom of the bowl. Put plumber's putty in the 1-inch thick ring around the bottom of the bowl's bottom rim. Install new floor flange bolts slots for the floor flange. Most modern toilets have just 2 bolts. If your old one had 4, remove the 2 extra ones and turn the bowl right side up and lower it into the outlet horn centered over the floor flange. Press down tightly, slightly to the left or right. Compress the gasket as you're bringing the toilet down on the floor. Avoid raising any part of the bowl since once it's done, check across the top of the bowl with a level. Shim the bowl with the floor is not level. Mount the tank of the bowl and separate using gasket and bolt furnish. Align the tank with the wall, twisting the bowl without raising it. Now gently tighten the floor flange bolts. Make water supply connections with the compression fittings and flexible supply tube. Turn on the water and flush the toilet and check for leaks. Alright, sink installation. Expanding an existing pipe. When you're adding sink or laundry tube to the laboratory for the house, new installation should be located with the closer to the soil stack. The drainage with the venting from in the same pipe with arrangement called wet venting. Specified by the National Plumbing Code with the maximum well-vented distance between the trap outlet and soil stack within 2-inch pipe of 5 feet, 1.5-inch pipe 3.5 feet, 1.25-inch pipe 3.5 feet, 1.25-inch pipes 2.5 feet. If you exceed the maximums, your local code may require reventing the fixture over the installation new soil stack. Either procedure could be costly and difficult while venting below a toilet is not permitted. Position new fixture of the outlet pipes and trap loosely in place. The plan is routing of the waste pipe slotting 1 inch for every 4 feet of run to assure the good drainage. If the existing soil stack is made with a cast iron cut in shown with the drawing, making the room for a new copper soil stack is handled similar with the new 2E installed with a special slipping couplings. The local code permitted plastic soil stack is not covered in part of it. Instead, opening cut and solvent and welded saddle installed. Water supply lines of the new fixture 1/2 inch for the sink laundry tub of the 1/8 of an inch for the laboratory with a call for the tapping of the nearby hot and cold water supply lines. You can do this with either tees, nipples, or unions illustrated here. You can install tapping tees. Existing water lines. Tapping tees are made with rubber gaskets. They are clamped around the holes drilled with a machine. They are threaded to accept the new 1.5 inch pipe to make the water supply trap. Waste hookups at sink. See the next page. Connecting a new sink. Whether you're making a new installation, a replacement, old sink, water supply, waste connections, or similar, sink laboratories are well hung, supported with the legs, pedals mounted on the cabinet's combination of legs, well supported with the legs adjusted to carry some of the weight with a compensate uneven floor of the unevenness in the floor. Wall hung sink should be horizontal 1/8 of an inch board screwed to at least 2 studs within the wall, thus flush with the wall bracket supplied with a sink and screwed to the board and sink hung on bracket. Once the fixture is in place, you can install the drain. No exact arrangement of the parts and manufacturer instruction sheet. Tighten the large basket drain flange nuts with a spud wrench. Plumber's putty is often required on the inside of the trim of the new drain. The fixture bottom, if the fixture has shortened chrome brass tailpiece on fine threads on one end, use pipe joint compound on the thread. Screw with the tailpiece for the bottom of the drain from below. Slip nut rubber washers go on to the trap that's attached. Put a slip nut on the tailpiece for the trap, then rubber washer. Slide the trap into the end of the place of the pipe coming through the wall. If it has 1.5 inch pipe and the trap is 1/4 of an inch, use the reducing slip nut with an extra large rubber washer to make the connections. Assemble the trap halves placed locally with a rubber washer between, holding them with a slip nut. Trap then design makes it possible to accommodate variation of waste pipe position, adjusting all the trap parts so that they do not bind. Tighten the slip nuts with a monkey wrench and spud wrench. If you're a new installation, be sure to install the parts or shut off valve with the hot cold water lines. Without them, you would have to turn off the main valve in the basement just to replace washers. Mounting the faucet on the fixture as described in page 221 with a ring plumber's putty around with the faucet escalon. Consult with the drawings below with the detail how the water supply lines connect to the sink lavatory. Use pipe joint compound and all pipe threads. Turn on the water. Check your installation for leaks and also check adjusting operation for pop-up lavatory stopper. Tubs and showers. Installation combination of tubs and showers. Your modernization bathroom, installing built-in bathtub shower, existing water supply, water pipes, and simplified job. First, make sure you have the room for the new tub. Most new tubs are 5 feet long. You can get them in shorter models, designed closed in for 3 sides, available spaces and 2 spaces. You may have to move a wall. Page 404. Do this, however, only with a new load-bearing wall. Existing spaces can be filled by adding ledge flush with the tube. Original tubs was not closed in. All see small drawing. Build a new wall head into the tub with the 2x4 plates. Stud on 16-inch centers. Notch all framing members for the pipes. Nail 1 and 4 by 4 tub supports the 3 walls, having the top of the level the required height with the top flange on the rest on. Cast iron tubs do not require any support. Extend all piping necessary with the water supply lines extended upward and attached 32 inches above the floor. The tub spout is extended 22 inches off the floor. Shower pipe to run up and elbowed out, usually 5 feet above the floor and centered on the tub width. Use 2x4 supports to hold the faucet and shower outlets. Next, lower the tub onto the support. Secure with screws. The walls around the tub can be finished and tiled and as desired. Either build the access panel in the wall behind the head of the tub or use permanent connections for the tube drain. Faucets with large Echelon plates should be used to permit faucets repairs with the tub walls. No access installation of the trap is installed should be kind of what will permit auger cleaning through the tube drain. With the access panel, ordinarily waste fittings in the existing tub trap may be used, and 1.5-inch tub drain pipe slip, similar size thread pipe will slip nut connection. Last step of the installation is to put in the tub compartment parts for the drain, faucet, tub, spigot, and shower head. The flow control shower head is recommended as water saving measure, but your installation works finished. Turn on the water, look for leaks. Caulk around the tub with silicone sealant. This will keep the water from getting behind the wall. Finally, install the shower rod and job is complete. Installing a hot water heater. When hot water heaters fail, usually causes the tank to corrode. The tank develops the pinhole leaks of water, which calls for a new water hose. Similar to this, and replace the cold water heater with one of the same size using the same fuel. Change fuel, increase tank size possible. However, some of the water heaters are connected with the house hot water heating system, or merely storage tanks, and for water heated in coils as flows through the boiler. Hot water heaters are also full of water. Temperatures control the thermostat, usually set at 120 to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Hot water is drawn off cold water into the dip tube, follows through the bottom of the tank. Remove the old water heater, turn off both the water and fuel supply, remove the heater's fuel line, electrical wire, flue pipe. Just take apart with the union's hot and cold water pipes. If there's no saw through the pipes, remove the stubs and replace it with the union's empty tank. Use the garden hose, hold to the drain, turn the empty tank on its side, roll it away. If it has suitable temperature pressure relief valve, remove that and you reuse it, and so it's a new heater in place and different height. Make sure necessary adjustment water supply pipes have been connected to your unit. Install draft diverter, gas, draft regulator, oil normally supplied with the heater. Connect flue lines, fuel line, electrical wires. Fill heater with water with a light burner, switching electrical heater burning in the water with supply, opening hot water tap. When water begins flowing steadily, tap may be closed and the heater fired up. Since the thermostat is normal about 140 degrees, if the hot water runs low or you have a dishwasher, you may have to increase the setting. Installing clothes washer. Automatic clothes washer needs 1.5-inch hot and cold water supply line. Such water also requires 1.5-inch standpipe drain with a disposal wastewater. If the floor drain is used, it must be lead into a sewer septic tank system. Also needed a 117 volt outlet protected with a 15 amp time delay fuse over the circuit breaker. Water supply pipes should be equipped with air chambers to prevent water hammer for the electrical operated washer inlet valve snap shut after fill or rinse cycle. Air chambers closed, washer usually open. Usually one pipe size larger than the water supply pipes, 24 inches long and able to do with a cushion and the abrupt shut-off. Shut-off valve of the water supply pipes are also necessary closed on with washer. If not, I usually take the water pressure of the water valve. A shut-off valve permits servicing without having turn off water supply with the entire house. Washer should be electrically grounded. Most washers are grounded with the third prong on the plug over the electrical cord. If the receptacle is not a 3-wire ground type, you can install a ground adapter to be ensured to connect the adapter pigtail lead with the ground, good ground, such as a center screw with a receptacle cover, provided it's grounded. After all the pipe and the drain connections have been made, adjust the lock nuts over the 4 bolts of the corner of the washer to level the rubber pads between the bolts on the floor of the manufacturer. Supply retractable casters, washers as extra cost. If there's available to get them, casters will enable you to roll the washer away from the wall for servicing and cleaning. Repair and maintenance. Most common complaint with a dishwasher is that they are not washing properly because of the serviceman with the remedy to study with the machine operating instruction. Be sure to follow the re-cleaning and loading and the detergent specification recommendation by the manufacturer. If you're doing everything properly, the next most probable cause from the poor washing is the low water temperature. Water flowing in the dishwasher should be between 140 to 160 degrees. Check with the gauge the hot water tank heaters to see if it is properly. Dishwashers occasionally require some of the simple maintenance, such as cleaning out of the drain strainer of the residue of the coarse food particles left some of the dishes falling in the wash cycle. With a closed strainer is most of the likely cause for the rise under the tap. Another common dishwasher complaint is a leak around during the wash cycle. Of this minor problem may be usually found with the older machines. Rubber seal with a gasket around with the door deterioration. With age, loses seal quality is one of the most machine simple replacement tasks. By a new gasket through with the dealer, an appropriate brand installed by reversing the step you took in to remove the old one. If the machine will not start at all, check the fuse and circuit breaker before calling a serviceman. Newly replace fuse blows immediately. You can restore by servicing is required. Faulty timer switches often cause dishwasher breakdown. Switches control the machine. Various wash cycles automatically regulates the length of time each cycle. The following symptoms indicate faulty timer switch. Machine will not turn on. Fuses or circuit breakers are okay. Machine runs through one or more cycles, then stops. The machine continues to operate in one cycle and will not switch to the next one. Time switch replacement fairly simple. First, check the machine makes, model number to obtain the replacement switch for the local dealer. The time switch has numerous wires running to it and from it. Reconnecting with them will be easier if you draw a diagram showing the position of each one before disconnecting the old switch. For problems that do not seem to be related with the timer switch cannot be solved by a simpler repairs mentioned in the best call repairman. In sump pumps, installing a sump pump. Sump pumps are sucked out rain wastewater from around the foundation under the basement floor from the basement floor drains has collected in sump pump. Pump is needed with the sewer line leveled above the basement floor. Often the pit pumps are used to cure the basement flooding. A pit is usually 24 inches deep. Diameter sewer tile is vertically with the gravel base below over the basement floor. When the float is forced up, the rising water reaches the stop of the turn of the pump motor. As the water level drops, the float moves down on over the stop of the turns of the motor. Often stops adjustable, but it can be set with the desired control level. All sump pumps are built and floated to operated switches, strainers, screens, remove solids that might clog the pump. To connect sump pump, lead a 1.25-inch flexible plastic pipe pump discharge out to the cellar drain. Pump sometimes discharges a slop sink instead of directly into the sewer pumps over the drain. Only the basement floor foundations usually can discharge the storm drain into the storm drain. Sewage pit or outside to the ground. Installed with a 1/4-inch brass check valves in the discharge line, arrow pointing away from the pump to prevent backflow to the water into the pump. Set the float level to describe the instruction. With come with the pump. Make a cover of the 3/4-inch exterior plywood. Plug the pump into a 117-volt 3-wire grounding outlet. Test the pump's action. pressure producing valve. While the house water is more than 60 pounds square inch, the pressure producing valve is often introduced with involved with plumbing performance. Too much pressure encourages faucets to leak. Increased plumbing system noises, wastewater items, fixture chances damage to the water hammer. Much greater than water pressure is high. First test water pressure connecting pressure gauge to the hose faucet. Costs less than buy with a gauge from the hire a plumber to do this. If the pressure test is more than 60 psi, you should install a pressure producer, and the valve is smaller than the water meter installed with the entrance line with it beyond the main shutoff valve that contains a union easy hookup. You can adjust the pressure for 50 psi, whatever level you wish. Upflush toilet. Upflush toilets let you put a toilet in the basement, even if the sewer is more above basement floor level. The unit needs to pipe below the basement floor and shed water into the toilet. Patented flushing system with a double acting flush valve supplied with a 1.5 inch or larger cold water pipe. Vacuum breaker flush valve that prevents the backflow of the contaminated water. The water flushes through the push flush valve, send water into the small flexible piping disintegration jet located with the T-fitting beyond the white porcelain bowl. Breaks up the solids. Next, the valve switches to the flush mode and sends a water flushing jet that's carried the liquid waste out of the bowl up to through the sewer. Rises to the gravity drain. Required water pressure is 40 psi, maximum 10-foot lift. Everything from water supply pumps to sewage riser pipe is furnished with a fixture plumbing. It is not difficult to provide. Full instructions come with every toilet and should be carefully followed in general with the procedure. So the bowl with the wood putty base from the make of the rock free with a mount of flushable valve solidly 6 inches more above the pole, connecting it to the union water supply pipe, running the riser full height into the gravity drain, turn the water and flush several times to clear the air from the system. Hot water treatment, softener, water. Rainwater is natural water in purest form. The water filters through the earth, however, it absorbs calcium, magnesium, and other minerals, which such materials are not dissolved in water but suspended in the water, called hard. Hardness is often measured in grams per gallon. Calcium carbonate. Most American Canadian water supplies are 3 to 30 grains per gallon range. Hard water takes most soaps, detergents, cause bath rub, rings, shrinks, and dishes, dingy laundry, tough cooked vegetables, and clogged pipes. Other water problems are red iron visible with a colloidal iron visible, invisible, magnesium black deposits, hydrogen sulfide, rotten egg odor, corrosive water, cotton and containing acid, oxygen, turbidity, fluoride, sometimes maybe desirable, nitrates, poisonous. Most water problems can be solved with the proper equipment. The first step is to find out when the treatment, if needed, with any equipment supplier have then tests made, often at no cost. The most common water treatment process is softening, accomplished by running the water through the mineral and synthetic resin compound with the exchange of the troublesome magnesium, calcium ion, electrical charged particles with trouble-free with sodium ion compound regenerated poisoning. Passing salt water through with a high sodium concentration, salt water forces out calcium, magnesium ions, flush away, and the softener is ready for another cycle. Water softeners can be purchased or rented on service basis. A rented unit is picked up regular and taken to the plant. Regeneration owners of the unit must regenerate it themselves by adding salt. Some softeners have sensors to indicate the regeneration is needed to do it automatically, and semi-automatic softeners is handled by a timer. Only some of the water houses require softener house water. Sometimes water in the toilets need not to be soft. Sometimes often hot water is softened. In such case, people of a sodium-free diet who should have not drinking softened water can drink the system's unsoftened cold water. The water softened, they may need to separate the drinking water tap. Install a water softener usually flexible, cut through the water surface pipe and beyond the water meter main shutoff valve and branches to the outdoor faucets. Household water is often softened and make cut before pipe reaches heater. If only the heater is softened, and make the opening of the cold water line to the water heater. Install elbows both within the water entrance pipe to the softener with an inlet and another pipe from the water supply side of the soft outlet to turn on the water to have softening water. Wastewater from regeneration may be run out onto the ground into the house sewer through a trap and will not affect the septic tank. Removing impurities from water. Water softening will remove some of the iron. Large amount of the iron water called the special iron filter, which remove the both dissolved suspended iron filter contained with the mineral with the traps iron must be regenerated periodic with a backwashing to rinse out with the collected oxidized iron. Most iron filters work automatically when used to wash water. When used with water has low oxygen content, iron filter may require flushing. Potassium permanganate that is poisonous and should be flushed out thoroughly before iron filter is put back in service. Well water containing sulfides can be cleared. And this iron filter with the combination C activated carbon filter. General rule: activated carbon filter attached to the under sink piping to the kitchen faucet. That have electrically contained can be treated with the automatic chlorine feeder. Injects chlorine to the water main line with the kills bacteria. Participates with the undesired solid particle chlorine feeder. Using in conjunction with sediment filter makes a good iron remover. The sediment filter uses the sand and gravel to replace with a cartridge to remove the suspended particles. Chlorine filter feeder combined with the activated carbon filter does a good job improving sulfur water. Corrosive water can be corrected. Neutralizing filter phosphate feeder of the main water line. Neutralizing filter injects agents into the water, reduces corrosion. Filter needs occasional replenishment of the cleaning. Phosphate feeder deposits phosphate crystals which are slowly dissolved in the water. These forms are protective coatings of the pipes. The water here slowing the corrosion process of corrosion. Of course, the phosphate crystals need periodic replenishing. Clean, cloudy water can sometimes be cleared with a water softener. Better solution is sediment filter. Either the combination activated carbon filter. A series of clouding problems can require with chemical feeder plus a sediment filter. Bad tasting water can be improved with the filterization activated carbon filter. Brackish salted water present in special degree treatment problems, as does with delivered sodium free and free of the other minerals. 2 high quality water treatment methods deal with the problems of this kind: the reverse osmosis deionization. Reverse osmosis makes the cellulose axis-type membrane separate the water with the impurities contained. The impurities end up on one side of the membrane and flush away with the water that will leave the opposite side of the membrane is pure. With the reverse osmosis unit is cost about $200. Will treat with enough water for the average family drinks and the cooking meal needs, and steam iron filling, auto battery replenishment with no moving parts for the air with not to regenerate normal household water pressure supply with the energy necessary to operate the unit. About every 2 years, the member needs to replace as a cost of about $40. Reverse osmosis unit usually is connected to a kitchen cold water line under the sink. A water deionizer and remove particles, dissolve solvents, re-entering water pure from the most routine use. Process accomplished 2 steps means with the 2 different ion exchange resins. They may be the 2 containers of just one. The first mineral is the same as the one used in the water softener, except for the charge with the hydrogen ions rather than sodium ions. All water passes through with positively charged hydrogen ions are released into the water. Positive mineral ions, iron, carbonates, and etc. are held. The water and passes immediately through within another bed of resin that has been charged with the negative hydroxide ions. The ions are then released into the water. Negative mineral into the chlorinated bicarbonates, etc. are picked up and held. Hydrogen hydroxide ions released into the water unite and form an additional pure water. These resins, like you, the softening, become the exhausted ions must be regenerated, by which essentially a plant process. Strong acid regenerated first, mineral strong alkali regenerate the second. Though it's inavailable to certain situations, deionization water is costly. Deionization units also cause demineralization, ready connection to plumbing and a faucet attachment. Later, generally, we discover that they are used up. Once you've identified an impurity problem in the water, one or more aforementioned water condition units can be mounted to correct it. You can install water softener in any of the filters yourself. The feeder unit should be installed and serviced professionally. Sewage disposal, private disposal system. To cover the amount of the digging involved in the new, likely you will want to attempt to build your own sewage disposal system. The job involved with the sewer lines up the tank absorption field with enough information given here that you can plan installment and discussing knowledgeably the local health authority to move to approve the system. These water absorption characteristics soils are known. We are required to conduct it's called a percolation test. To do it, dig about 6 holes. Proposed absorption field to be located. Use the post hole digger. Dig down. Depth of the drainage dense, usually 8 to 13 inches. 18 to 36 inches. Fill the holes with water. After 24 hours, add just a water level to each hole and about 6 inches deep. Then insert a yardstick clock how many minutes it takes the water to fall 1 inch. The table gives the minimum square feet of absorption you will need for each bathroom in your house. In laying out septic tank absorption field, observe the old code specify the distance, house, well, property line, trees, watertight sewer line leads, house, to septic tank. This can be a cast iron solvent, welded plastic pipe, or selfing verified clay, tap joint pipes, ceiling cement abscesses pipe size of the 4 inches, slope of 1/4 inch per foot. Code often call for use of cast iron pipes within 5 feet of the house. Septic tank can be precast concrete, asphalt, coated steel, concrete, block, redwood, clay, tile, brick, and sewage settles, decomposes. Tank outlet is lower than inlet of the keeps sewage from backing up the sewer line. Entire tank below is ground because it's necessary to clean the whole hole is dug and excess cover removed. Locate the tank where the tank can get into the purpose of cleaning it out. Septic tank must be sized to suit the house as indicated in the table. This is given into the account using water producing appliances as garbage disposers, clothes washers, and dishwashers. Codes vary in what waste can go into the septic tank. Some codes require septic grease trap for the kitchen waste. Some will all allow you to run toilet waste and septic tank into the same tank, and could also waste directly in the drainage field. May require that all waste be handled with a septic tank. Installing a septic tank. The contractor installs a septic tank installed with a properly track mounted machine called the backhoe. Dig a pit with a septic tank, drain with the dentures, and to lead away with a tank layer of the gravel. The curved crushed stone will be spread into the trench. The water line will be laid with a separate tank with a small buried concrete vault distribution box for the purpose to regulate the flow of the septic tank and fluent among the two main drainage lines. With these lines are laid with gravel either level over the slopes away with a distribution no more than 6 inches for every 100 feet. Drainage may lie with a 4-inch concrete clay with the tiles pre-refabricated plastic fiber pipe, 1 foot in long tiles laid light spaces between them and the permanent space with perforated pipes going 10 feet length. The holes permanent seepage drain lines are now not meant to be watertight. One side of the drainage tiles can be covered with gravel. The layer building paper will be laid over the top of the stones to prevent infiltration of the soil. Backfill as the system has been inspected. It will be covered in soil graded. This is done. You can plant it with grass and moisture-loving trees only on hilly or slopey landing. The different type of drainage field called a serial distribution field must be built to make sure the level of trench is done along the contours of the land. Each layer lower than the next. Connections between the trenches are arranged and transfer effluent to the lower of the trenches only with a fluent depth of the trench above the reach for the top of the gravel fill. For the first trench of the system must work with full capacity before the second trench receives any effluent. No distribution boxes needed with a serial distribution. No attempt may be made to lay the septic tank with the drain lines between below the frost depth. The water house watering, entering system heat, bacterial action, keeping the whole system warm. New septic tank needs special treatment to starting bacterial action each year. For the sludge depth, it should be checked with removing access cover and inserting a stick in the tank. The stick should be pushed into the bottom of the tank and pulled out with the end of the first wrap along little colored rag. Sludge depth to show on the adjusted allowable sludge accumulation inches shown in the table. If the right sludge reaches the level, the tank should be pumped out. For the operation, best call for the septic tank cleaning company. Chemicals sometimes added to sewage speed up the precipitation. The choice of chemicals depend on sewage and local conditions. Frequently, chemicals lime and sulfate, alumina, yeast, and sometimes added to speed up the bacterial action. Mix the yeast with warm water, pail, empty it into the toilet bowl. Half a pound of Breyer's yeast sufficient. Cesspools. Chief difference between a cesspool and a septic tank is cesspools does make any provisions break down treatment of the sewage. Is simply collecting tank that permits for all sewage to be leaked into the ground. Cesspools are highly unsanitary and can be menace to health. Cesspools are located near underground sources of water, gradually pollute the water and make it unfit and dangerous to drink. Also, polluted matter ultimately find its way into the surface where it will decompose and emit foul odors, and for this reason codes often ban cesspools. Installing a sewage pit. Steeply sloped hill land of a small lot may not be suitable for the trench absorption septic tank treat plant and effluent. In some cases, the seepage plant with a valve arrangement may consist of one more hole of the ground line, 2 stone, concrete, bricks. blocks affluent with the absorbed ground. Sewage pits are characterized the earth bottoms where some of the seepage placed for the poor sides of the curve of the pits or with the storage water filled with stone. Movable core, permanent inspection, cleaning necessary for the inlet tees, pit vents for the tee, the high lines cut down and the splashing. Seepage pits are fed through one joint and tile lines coming through the distribution jocks just in the trench type absorption field seepage pit. Maybe any side, but they may not to be round. Huge ones could be scoped with a bulldozer filled with stone and have thin cover pack fill push over it. Much of the seepage and smaller pits take through its wall. Maybe the larger pit efficient was per square feet of the area. Therefore, do its job. A large pit must cover a much greater area than several small seepage pits. Seepage pit can be built in a steep slope, but as soon as the tree roots find a pit and grow into it, they will help absorb effluent unwalled stone-filled pits. Sometimes near trees encourage rod infiltration, absorption, filled tidal run sometimes into the sewage pit and the handle overflow. Chapter 8: Electricity, solving power and problems safely.